Hello everyone. I wanted to give y'all an update, and I also wanted to try on this lav mic, which I'm hoping works. I haven't even tried it out. It just came in the mail right before we drove, and I'm driving the girl somewhere. Right before we had to leave, this came in the mail, and so I was thinking like, oh, why can't I? Let me go ahead and try this out. And this is so cool. I was sent this. Actually, it's a double set. It's the Rode. What's it called? Move mic. No, it's not Rode. It's a Shure Move mic. Why am I saying that? Shure Move mic. And it's the pair. So there's actually two lav mics that you just clip it on and you can vlog. How awesome is that? It just connects with the phone via Bluetooth, and you just have to download that Shure app, and it's so amazing. I'm like, it actually works. I'm hoping it does. I just tested it a few seconds and it seems to be working really great. So we are on the way. To, you can't see who's all in the car. We have 4 kids in the car right now, or I have 4 kids in the car. So it's my oldest daughter, Romy, and her friend. I'm driving them to a friend's house who lives about 45 minutes away, and they're gonna stay there over the weekend. So it's Friday, they're gonna stay there. Was will sie denn? Hier, warte, hier, einmal. Moment, nee. Moment. Okay, they want water. Okay, there's water and there's water right here. So I'm gonna have a little bit of a drive, and wanted to give you an update because I got an email from the clinic today, and I don't know what she wants. And I can't think when they're this loud. I got an email from the clinic today, and now my wheels are spinning. So the embryologist emailed me, or I guess it's the embryologist, and they have some options. And this is where it's getting really hard again. I was like, I want to transfer one blastocyst. Gib ihr das da. Gib ihr das. I don't know. Literally, when I start talking, they get all freaked out. Normally, it's very quiet in the car, so I thought it was gonna be okay. Was will er?
Keine Ahnung.
So the clinic sent me an email with options, and now they have 2 donors, or in this case it's not, well, it's embryo donation or adoption, but in this case it's not embryos that were created especially for me, but these are embryos that are leftovers from IVF cycles from couples, who then didn't need more, who completed their families, and instead of destroying them, they give them to other people. It is still anonymous. I'm doing this in Poland, and in Poland it's anonymous. So we will never find out who the donors are. All we find out, or all we get to find out, are like their phenotypes. Like eye color, hair color, height, and the ethnicity. In this case, they're Polish, which means they look like, exactly like German, pretty much. And now they gave me 2 options. So they have So they have 2 blastocysts frozen. By the male is, let's see, it's like 180 centimeters tall, which is, But the thing that I'm getting hung up on is I don't care like hair color, like whether it's brown or black or blonde. It doesn't really matter to me at all. I mean, they try to kind of match you with, like, I have brown hair. Romy's dad has brown hair, and the twins have totally blonde hair. Romy has kind of light brown hair. I have dark brown hair. It doesn't really matter. And the eye color, doesn't matter. Like all eye colors run in my family. So we have like blue eyes and brown eyes and green eyes, like everything runs in the family. So we, for people from the outside, they wouldn't ask a lot of questions because it's very clear that technically all the kids could be our biological kids or my biological kids. However, so they have this set of 2, which I only really want 1. I told them, I want to transfer 1 embryo. Now they have this 2, and they gave me the grades of them all. And then they have another set, 3 embryos by 2 other donors. And now they should have even told me. They shouldn't have even given me a choice. This is now becoming, it's opening up all these questions and thoughts and processes inside of me. So now I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, which one am I supposed to choose? Like I'm deciding which child I'm gonna pick. I mean, I realize they're blastocysts. They're not children yet, which in Alabama they would be counted as children, which is crazy. They're not quite there yet here in Europe yet, but I do respect they're potential human beings. They're the beginnings of a human being. Now, my opinion is that whether they become humans and are born and grow up, that is not my decision. That's God's choice, right? God decides. God makes it possible for life to either be created or not. And this is life already created. I mean, it's alive, right? Why it? It's not an it. These are alive. They're frozen right now, and they potentially are going to be human beings. So I'm like, now I'm thinking about all this, like, okay, so I'm making a choice, which one is going to be potentially my child? And then I also have this question, so I really want 1. I really don't want to be pregnant with twins again. And I also I don't want to have twin newborns again, because that's so crazy. It's like there's a lot involved. I'm like, 1 child more on my own. It would be a lot, but I could handle. And I know whatever God puts on you, you can handle. I believe that God wouldn't put more on you than you can handle. And I grow with all challenges. So I made it to this point with the twins, all by myself, no sleep at all the stuff. But now I'm thinking, so these belong together. Basically, they're siblings. So the group of 2 and the group of 3, they're siblings. So if I decide to take 1 of the 2, which one? Like, just because it's a better graded one, slightly, they're all pretty, good grades. And I don't know. Like, now I'm deciding, it's like, what? But they kind of belong together. Genetically, they belong together. What if I pick 1 and the second one is going to become the child of another family, but then I don't know. There's like all these questions now. And now I'm thinking, no way do I want twins again. But then on the other hand, I'm thinking, okay, what does that compare to a lifetime? Is that fair to them? Would it not be fair to them to give them the opportunity to have a biological sibling to grow up with, so that when they get a little bit older and they have questions like, where do I come from? They at least have one other person in the family who's genetically related, and they could have all these like, oh, I see myself in that, and that's kind of my genetics, and I don't know. So now I need to tell them my decision. I'm telling myself I need to sleep over this, because there are like all these questions in my mind now. And if you have any thoughts about this, please share. Screaming again back there. They always want something. I don't know what they want. So the group of 3, there's just absolutely no question that I could take all 3. There's no way. Would I, like, even putting my body through something like a twin pregnancy, I told myself, even toward the end of my twin pregnancies, like, I am never doing this again with 2. Never ever am I doing. I remember that. I was like, that is insane. My body is like the absolute limit. And so, but I know you forget. And and I know you also forget about newborns. You kind of forget. Otherwise, no one would have more than one child, because it's physically very tiring and exhausting and draining. It just is. And breastfeeding and all the challenges, but on the other hand, we have, I kept pretty much everything. We have all the stuff for twins. It would be so easy. We still have the strollers. We have all the stuff, all the clothes. In this case, boy and girl. So we wouldn't really have to buy a lot of stuff. Really, hardly at all. Anything. We have everything double. And I still have it all. Because I was thinking, well, depending on if we're going to have a boy or a girl, then I can get rid of the stuff that's not for the gender that we're going to have. So if we're going to have a girl, I'm going to get rid of all the boy stuff, and vice versa. But now I'm like, I don't know. What am I supposed to do? I don't want to carry twins again. But then again, it's like, I've always wanted a large family. And in my mind, even after having one more child, I'm thinking about maybe even adopting another, not maybe a newborn, but a child that's already there. But now I have no idea what I'm going to decide. Tell me all your thought processes. Please comment, because I want to hear it all. Because there's all these pros and cons, but for me it's always this thing of I think Will Smith has said that quote, and I printed it out, and it hangs up above my desk. Don't give up what you want most for what you want now. In this case, what I've wanted most is to have a large family. What I want now is not to be pregnant with twins and going through that. And I don't know, if I could handle it, I might then end up having a C-section, because I feel like my body is more drained than when I started out with a twin pregnancy. Because that twin pregnancy, I was in amazing, not just shape. I have been working out, but I feel like even my pelvic floor and my belly muscles and all that, it's just not back to where it was. I think I'm well nourished. I'm getting much better. I don't know. Thoughts, comments, and I don't want advice. I don't like the tone of someone do this or do that. It's just, what would you do? And can you think of any more pros and cons? I'm always a very logical thinker. On the one hand, it's okay, let me write down all the pros and all the cons of this and that decision. But then at the same time, it's also an emotional thing. It's an ethical thing. So there's so much more that goes into this decision, because it's a lifelong, this is going to have lifelong consequences, which I would be totally okay with a lifelong of being double twin mom and all that. But those first couple of years, just that physical involvement of the pregnancy and newborns and breastfeeding and having to be there 24/7 for 2 newborns while I have 3 other kids, 2 of them still toddlers. I don't know. But then what is that in comparison to a lifetime of being, having created the family that I have created, maybe with another set of twins? And again, even if we transfer 2, there's no guarantee both of them stick. But if we, the chances are a bit better if one of them doesn't develop that the other one would. But then also the risk is so much higher that if everything is well and the uterus is, everything in the implant, then having a twin pregnancy. All right. We're here at McDonald's. The kids are going to have a Happy Meal, and I'm going to upload this later today. Share your thoughts. Thanks.